Welcome to Tater Time with Big Al and the Tater. Your host, Mr. Caleb Strickland.
Welcome to week 11 of Tater Time. The Tater is 22-4 on his high school picks. We have moved into the playoffs this week. So, AJ, who you got Theodore at Central Phoenix City for the 7A?
Gotta go Central Phoenix City.
What about Davidson at Auburn?
Won't be fooled like I was earlier this year and go Auburn.
Okay, your 6A Stanhope at Hillcrest.
As much as it hates me to do this, I would like for Stanhope to win, but I think Hillcrest is going to be too much in Tuscaloosa.
All right, We2 versus Blunt.
I think Wetumpka, like I said, I feel like they have a strong chance of winning 6A, so I got Wetumpka beating Blunt.
Moving on to 5A, Marbury at St. Paul.
This is another one of those, you kind of want to pull for Marbury because they're the local team, but I just don't think they have enough to beat St. Paul's.
All right, and then Talladega at Carroll.
Yeah, I got Carroll. They're undefeated and look pretty impressive this year. I feel like they might have a real good shot at the 5A title. I got Carroll.
All right, time to talk teams. Taylor and Tater's top 10. But we're going to change it up for the college football playoffs. AJ, who is in your top 6?
All right, well, we'll start from 6 and go forward with that. I got Oklahoma because I guess they just forgot they have to play defense a little bit last week. So I got them at 6. Wisconsin, I know a lot of people are disrespecting Wisconsin. They're still undefeated, and I think they still have a chance to get in the Final Four. Got Miami at 4. But I think they won't be here long because I think Notre Dame, who is at 3, will beat them this weekend. Also got Bama at 2 and Georgia at 1.
Okay. What about you, Big Al?
All right, it's going to be a little different on the back end, but I got TCU at 6. The metrics show that this is a good team. I got Miami at 5. Still not completely sold on them, but they did have a big win last week, so I got to give them a little credit there. I'm going to go Oklahoma at 4, and that's simply based off of Baker Mayfield. I trust him that much. 3, Notre Dame. Obviously, they've been on a tear. Bama at 2, and Georgia at 1.
So you guys agree with the committee that Georgia right now is putting up better stuff than Bama?
Well, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that. I'm just okay with Georgia being 1, so put the heat on them.
I say that their resume is better, so therefore they deserve to be in the number 1 spot.
All right, let's move into a video viewer question.
I gotta know, what's your guaranteed winner against the spread this week? Shout out to my boy Christian Killingsworth.
Hey, Nate, how about 17? Okay. Well, one for sure pick. For sure.
For sure?
For sure.
For sure.
3 for sure.
Yes, 3 for sures. Because I'm not sure who Florida knows who their quarterback's going to be in this game. Because Randy Shannon had the bright idea to start Malik Zaire last week, which wasn't a good idea. I think South Carolina covers 7.5 over Florida, and they pull out a win 28-17.
All right, let's move into our weekly picks. All right, we're going to start off with number 12, Michigan State, at number 13, Ohio State. Ohio State's a 15.5-point favorite in this game. Do they cover? Do they win? What are you seeing?
I think the spread's a little crazy, especially with Ohio State coming off a loss at Iowa. Michigan State seems like they're playing better and better every week. This is always a close game. Their last 6 matchups have been determined by an average of 6 points or less. They've exchanged wins the last 7 matchups. I mean, this is one of those traditionally close games, so I don't get the spread per se. Lewerke for Michigan State quarterback's been really good. He looks like he's gotten better over the years. He has some gamer tendencies to him. JT Barrett had a huge setback last week, so I don't see this being over 15.5. I'm going to give it to Ohio State, just given the fact that they're playing at home. That's the only advantage I think they have in this one. I'm going Ohio State in a close game.
Yeah, it's true that Ohio State has the home field advantage, but I know a lot of Ohio State fans remember last time these two played at Ohio State. Michigan State ran off the field kicking a game-winning field goal, which they did this past week at home against Penn State. And I think that game, to me, showed that Franklin, I guess, had some amnesia, forgetting he had a running back that could run the football, and it was raining. I guess he thought it was sunny outside with that 3-hour delay, and he had McSorley throwing like he was Drew Brees, which he's not, and he actually had Drew Brees' numbers: 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But yes, I actually have Michigan State going into Columbus and getting another win by field goal, 30-27.
All right, moving on to Georgia at number 10. Number 1 Georgia at number 10 Auburn. This is a huge rivalry game for the Tigers. Can they pull out the upset? Should Georgia be a little nervous?
I mean, there's always a chance at Jordan Hare for Auburn to upset somebody. I think they're going to maybe upset their fans this weekend, though, because I don't think they're going to have enough to beat Georgia. I think Georgia didn't play too inspired last week, but I think they might have been, geared up for this game. But I feel like the Dogs will beat Auburn 34-23 this weekend.
The Deep South's oldest rivalry. It's named that for a reason. It's always typically a good game. I see this one being a good game. Auburn obviously has a good defense and will look to stop the running game of Georgia. If they can do that and make the freshman Fromm have to throw it more than 16 times a game, I think they've got a real shot in this game playing at home. They know that their season depends on this game. That said, I'm still going to go Georgia in a close game. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some overtime.
All right, moving on to number 20 Iowa at number 8 Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a 12.5-point favorite in this game. Can Iowa have lightning strike twice and put another top 10 team down?
So we've got that Iowa team that seems to show up every third year or so when Kirk Ferentz needs a contract extension. They pulled out all the stops last week against Ohio State, the fake field goals and everything, and really put it to them. It was a very good win. I have to give them that. I don't know that they're going to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin seems to have a little bit more players, be a little bit more well-rounded. But this Wisconsin team has not really played anybody on the other hand. I'm going to give this one to Wisconsin in a close game.
Okay, well, this game right here, Iowa coming off a very impressive win last week, scoring 55 points, which I didn't think they could score 55 points in the game, but they did. I don't think they scored nearly that many this week, but I feel like they slow this game down and grind out another win and pull out another upset, 23-17.
All right, moving on to Bama at Mississippi State. So Bama has 2 huge injuries last week. Is that going to derail some playoff hopes? Is this something we're going to feel?
I mean, this is going to be a scary game, or it could be anyway, with the fact that you lose Hamilton and Mac Wilson last week. Minka gets banged up with his hamstring. He'll probably be limited in this game. He'll probably play, but he'll definitely be limited. I feel like Bama's offense, they're going to have to carry the weight this week, and they're going to have to step up and stay on the field more than a minute or two a drive. And I feel like Jalen really has to, keep the drives going on third down. And I feel like Bama makes enough plays this week, and I think they get it done 31-13.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how Alabama's defense adjusts playing Mississippi State. Their offense is pretty good, pretty balanced. I don't like when people just say that you lose a guy like Sean Deion Hamilton that the next 5-star just steps up. You cannot replace that experience and leadership just like that. It just doesn't happen. Mac Wilson was another guy that was also making more plays. So losing those 2 guys, yeah, it really hurts. And the fact that Minka might not play. So it'll just be interesting to see. It'll be something to watch in the first couple of drives to see how they respond. I see this game potentially being close at halftime, one of those type things. I think Bama probably wants to get back to running the ball a little more. And I think that they're going to come out in second half, probably put a little bit more points on them, win this one by 10 or 14 or so, somewhere like that.
All right, going down to the Irish in Miami. So has Mark Richt got these guys as good as we think they are? I mean, are they going to beat the Irish?
I mean, they had a good win last week against a up-and-coming Virginia Tech team. It was a sound win, 28-10. So it's hard to say that they're not for real at this point. Now they're playing a team in Notre Dame that is a very balanced team. They like to run the ball. They've got a dual threat quarterback in Wimbush, who's probably a better runner than he is a passer. But then they've also got a Heisman candidate in Josh Allen running the ball. So I see them probably grinding this one out down there in Coral Gables and coming out with the victory.
Yeah, last week, I guess Miami took exception to being called Gregory Helms, and they came out with a big win over Virginia Tech, and they even got their chain recipient on TV. But one thing we know about leprechauns, they love their gold, so Miami might need to hide this gold chain they have. And they might have to put it away this week anyway, because I don't think they're going to get many turnovers against the Irish. And I think Notre Dame is going to come in and just give them a rude awakening and wake them up from Fantasy Island, where they seem to be at, thinking they're better than they are. And I feel like Notre Dame wins 41-20.
All right, moving on to our last game, Oklahoma versus TCU. TCU has been making a run at this playoff all year. The Horned Frogs, are they in?
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game, and Oklahoma was rolling last week, all except for their defense. I don't know where it was. A big shootout. I mean, you almost had about 1,500 yards in this game.
He's dropping some
I mean,
heat, man.
that's pretty. I mean, folks might like that. It made me want to throw up seeing the defenses not do anything. Offense is going up and down the field without any trouble, and it was kind of sloppy too with some turnovers. But I feel like TCU, I think they got back to basics last week with their win over Texas, and I think they're going to come into Norman and they're going to get another upset, 38-34.
It was like that college football game on junior varsity.
Yeah.
Hail Mary every single play. No, this game really intrigues me. Like I mentioned earlier, the metrics for TCU say that they should win this game. They're more balanced, they're more well-rounded. But then at the end of the day, I look over at their quarterback and I see that they've got Kenny Hill, who was one of the main reasons they lost the game against Iowa State. And then I look over at Oklahoma's team, and they've got a guy in Baker Mayfield that's leading the pack right now for the Heisman. Given that, I'm literally just giving the edge to Oklahoma based on their quarterback and playing at home. So I'm going to Oklahoma.
All right. Moving on to our favorite time of the week.
Haters.
All right, well, got a little distracted last week trying to get my Stranger Things costume ready and looking for a weapon that could kill a Demogorgon. And lo and behold, two egomaniacs blow up in here, take over the show. Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage. I guess they were a little jealous of Ric Flair's 30 for 30.
Meatheads.
Woo! Came in and just took over.
And
Bunch
I
of
mean,
meatheads.
I don't get it.
Heard they look strong though.
Yeah, well, and
Buff.
yeah,
Yeah, big buff guys.
yeah.
That Hulk, dude, he is huge. That Hulk is huge.
Yeah, well, I don't want to mess with the Macho Man either. I mean,
No.
the fact that he wasn't going to back down from any of these 4 Alabama players that he was talking about.
And that glorious beard.
Yeah, and but Mean Gene, I was surprised, he didn't try to stop these guys from just taking over our studio. I would have appreciated that.
Yeah, he's a
Mean Gene.
Hack.
Yep.
All right, make sure to join us next week for Tater Time. Let us know what you think down in the comments.